I found the secret crush diary of the gloomy top student. Today was the physics final exam. Classmate Riceball sat right in front of me. Her neck was so long and pale. I really wanted to grab it and kiss her. Last night I dreamed of her dancing. Can I just capture her and make her dance for me alone? Classmate Riceball came to ask me for help today. Her hair kept brushing against my arm, making me so itchy I almost lost control. The guy next door keeps coming to see her, and she even smiles at him. I really want to dump his body somewhere and lock her up. I accidentally brought Riceball home with me. I'm going crazy trying to hold back. I saw Riceball licking a sweet ice cream. I wish I could possess the ice cream with my mind. Reading this diary made me blush and my heart race. I quickly put it back where it was. The top student usually appears cold and abstinent. Who would have thought they'd be so perverted behind the scenes? This poor Riceball classmate is really having it rough. Even after I returned to my seat, I was still shaken. At that moment, the top student Kevin walked over. Classmate Riceball. I bought an extra Riceball. Here you go. Ha. Seeing the confusion on my face, Kevin flicked my head casually. Don't you always eat rice balls? Riceball. Riceball. Me. My family wasn't well off, and my mom wouldn't let me turn on the air conditioning during the day. The summers in City A were scorching, with temperatures soaring up to 38 degrees. Helplessly, I went to the park every day to cool off. For the 5th time in the park, I encountered the aloof top student Kevin riding by on his bike, and our eyes met. He was the first to speak. Hey, classmate, are you from our school? Dude, that's a bit forward of you. We've been in the same class for a year now. Class monitor. We're classmates. My name is Judy, replied in a low voice. I have face blindness and can't remember people. What are you doing here? Enjoying the shade. Kevin remained silent for a few seconds after hearing my response before slowly saying, if you keep enjoying this shade, you'll get heat stroke. It's almost 40 degrees out here. My family doesn't allow me to turn on the air conditioning. My face grew slightly warm. Inferiority and sensitivity have nearly silenced me. As I spoke these words, I noticed Kevin's eyes light up. He seemed almost pleased. Is it a sense of superiority because I'm poor? I feel somewhat unhappy. Then let's go to my place. My air conditioning runs 24 hours a day. Kevin rarely speaks at school. With his outstandingly handsome looks and extraordinary academic performance, he became the secret crush of many girls. In the late-night chats of the girls' dormitory, his name always comes up one way or another. Even the beautiful and tall dorm leader got extremely excited when Kevin tapped her shoulder during roll call. I had almost no interaction with him. The only time we spoke was about a physics problem. He was the only one in class who could solve that final exam question. I mustered up the courage to ask him for advice. I noticed his hands were slender and pale, with distinct bones, swiftly writing on paper with a pen. In a moment of excitement, my still damp hair, just washed, accidentally brushed against him. He shook it off with a hint of disdain. This directly hit my inferiority complex. Since then, I never actively asked him for help with problems again. His act of kindness this time was truly unexpected. When I first stepped into his house with my backpack, it felt like entering a castle. Their villa is magnificent, with air conditioning blasting everywhere. Class monitor. Where are your parents? Kevin tossed his bag aside, opened the fridge, and threw me an ice cream. He unwrapped a popsicle himself. They went abroad. Then you live alone. There's a housekeeper. He spoke while going upstairs. I wasn't very familiar with the place, so I could only follow his steps. After entering the room, he pulled out the desk chair. You can study here. What about you? I'll lie on the bed and play games. With that, he took out his game console and half reclined on the bed. I felt a bit awkward, as if I were encroaching on someone else's space. Class monitor. Maybe I should go outside to work. There's air conditioning out there too. He held the popsicle in his mouth, controlling the game, and casually said to me, The air conditioning outside is going to be turned off to save on electricity. Fair point. No one's money grows on trees. I spread out my homework, ready to study, when from behind came Kevin's muffled voice. Eat the ice cream first, or it'll melt. How considerate. For a moment, I was overwhelmed by the unexpected favor. I opened the ice cream and, treating it like a treasure, licked it bit by bit with the tip of my tongue, afraid to miss even the slightest hint of sweetness. Halfway through eating the ice cream, I heard a muffled groan. What's wrong with you? Turning around, I noticed Kevin's face was slightly flushed, his ears red enough to drip blood. I quickly put down the ice cream and my homework, not even bothering to wipe my mouth, and went over to check on him. Are you running a fever? I had just reached out to feel his forehead temperature. He instinctively dodged. My hand froze midair. A bit awkward. Indeed. This move is somewhat ambiguous. What am I doing? Kevin, someone so noble and aloof, would never let me touch him. What am I being sentimental about? He got up with a sullen face, his voice icy. The temperature is too high. As soon as he finished speaking, I heard the sound of the air conditioner being turned down. So it was too hot. But it was already 21 degrees. I even feel a bit cold. Kevin slightly hunched his back and returned to bed. He's abnormally hot. And now he's bending over again. He must be feeling unwell. They took me in and even gave me ice cream to eat. Now he's feeling unwell. I ought to repay him. At this point, I didn't care about the distinction between men and women anymore, whether he liked it or not. I pressed my hand against his forehead. It was indeed burning hot. Not just his forehead. His face was hot too. The neck feels hot too. Class monitor. You must have a fever. When I had a fever, my mom would touch me like this. She would check my forehead, cheeks, and neck. A triple touch. To confirm if I had a fever. I repeatedly used the back of my hand to check the temperature at his neck. Kevin's breathing grew increasingly labored, and the way he looked at me began to appear somewhat dazed. Worried he might faint from the fever. I grew extremely anxious. Class monitor. Let's take you to the hospital. Just as I was about to withdraw my hand, he firmly pressed it back in place. Oh, my hands are cold. Does that feel better? Whenever I had a fever, my mom would always stick cooling patches on my forehead and behind my ears. They were icy and soothing. It's just that our current position is a bit ambiguous. But he's the most aloof and serious top student, so he wouldn't have any strange thoughts. I just let him use my hand to cool his fever. Gradually, his gaze shifted to the corner of my mouth. His handsome face suddenly loomed large before my eyes, and my brain froze for a few seconds. I saw his Adam's apple bob rapidly, his warm breath lingering on my face, and my heart pounded wildly. Class monitor. You. My call seemed to summon his soul back. His eyelids trembled slightly, his gaze flickering over my chest before closing for a few seconds and reopening. There's still some cream at the corner of your mouth. Let me wipe it off for you. Ha! His hand swiftly brushed past the corner of my mouth. A surge of electricity ran from my head to my toes, leaving my entire body tingling and numb. Kevin rejected my suggestion to accompany him to the doctor. He had me take out a box of medicine from the desk. It said to help reduce fever. I obediently followed his instructions, poured water, and gave him the medicine. I quietly left only after he had fallen asleep. Before leaving, I took the empty medicine box with me. Vitamin. As expected of imported medicine, not only does it reduce fever, but it also supplements vitamins. Impressive. That night, I had a dream. We kissed in Kevin's bedroom, bathroom, and dining room. The scenes kept changing. He was repressed, restrained. Those starry eyes were filled with desire because of me. Judy, stop licking the ice cream. Lick me instead. His voice was still pleasant, just terribly hoarse, as if bewitched. I opened my mouth. He was burning up, as if on fire. I heard that muffled groan again. He seems very comfortable. A sudden surge of warmth. I woke with a start, turned on the light, and got up to look. I'm on my period. I finally came to my senses completely. Oh my God. What kind of dream did I have? How could I blaspheme the gods? If Kevin finds out, he would definitely think I'm utterly disgusting. The summer wind feels like waves of heat, scorching my skin over and over again. Soon, my body was drenched in sweat, sticky and impossible to wipe away completely. Judy. What a coincidence. Where are you going? From behind came the voice of my childhood friend Leonard. Leonard and I grew up in the same alley since childhood. Although our mothers often argued, we still got along very well. He is one of my few good friends. I take the bus to the library to read. Actually, it's to enjoy the free air conditioning, although going to Kevin's place would be more convenient. But after all, they were classmates, and it felt awkward to keep troubling them. Leonard was somewhat speechless. You're still so serious even during the break. Fine. I'll wait with you. If you don't hurry home, all those popsicles will melt. I noticed he was carrying a bag of popsicles, probably just coming out from the wholesale store. He dismissed it. It's nothing. With that, he pulled out a popsicle from the bag, just like when we were kids. We split it in half. Ah, so refreshing. We'll eat while we wait. The bus stop is right across from the park. For some reason, I kept staring at that Kevin path where he rode his bike. Maybe the law of attraction really exists in this world. The next second, Kevin appeared right in front of me. He saw me, his eyes sparkling, quickly balancing on one foot. He stopped his bicycle before me. Judy, you left your sun protective jacket at my place last time. Go get it yourself. Oh, okay. I was so nervous that day. I even forgot my coat. When did you two get so close? Leonard tilted his head to look at us, a popsicle stick dangling from his mouth. Kevin glanced at Leonard, then at the other half of the ice pop in my hand. His tone icy. Who's he? Leonard smiled and extended his hand. You're Kevin, right? You're quite famous. I'm Leonard, Judy's childhood friend. Hearing this, a certain classic line suddenly popped into my mind. You're quite famous. I silently stifled a laugh. And the second half of that sentence. Judy's childhood sweetheart. Such a formal introduction. Just say, my friend. Directly. Oh. Kevin's calm expression suddenly revealed a few sharp, chilling glints. Let's go. Kevin completely ignored Leonard and directly took my backpack. I quickly turned around and waved goodbye to Leonard. Once again, I returned to the scene in my dream. That alluring image from memory assaulted me. I guiltily avoided looking directly into Kevin's eyes, afraid of insulting the divine once again. Kevin seemed to be in an unusually bad mood today. He hasn't spoken to me since the moment he walked in. I could feel his disgust towards me once again. I quickly picked up the fallen coat and dashed out like the wind. Just as I reached the door, he pressed it shut and locked it from behind. In such a hurry to go to him. He was a head taller than me. I looked up at him, only seeing his sharp jawline and tightly pressed lips. I explained, no, I want to go home. Later. His voice was cold, devoid of any emotion. With that, he sat down at the desk, picked up a game console, and started playing again. I felt somewhat at a loss. Kevin, I have nowhere to do my homework. Use my bed. Ha! I widened my eyes in surprise. He brought out a small desk from the corner and placed it on the bed. The small desk just perfectly trapped my legs in place. Doing homework in this sitting position wasn't actually uncomfortable at all. The sheets are smooth and very comfortable. I can faintly smell Kevin on them. I swallowed hard. Focus on solving the problems. But my mind is completely filled with Kevin. When I finally snapped out of it, the draft paper was covered with the words, Kevin, afraid he might notice. I frantically crumpled the draft paper into a ball and threw it into the trash can. No, I can't study on his bed. Kevin, I'm not comfortable in your bed. I made an excuse. He didn't speak. Just brought a chair from next door and placed it beside him. When he returned, he locked the door again. Due to the limited space on the desk, we had to sit closely together. To improve my study efficiency, Kevin decided to study with me. Doing homework with a top student purifies the soul. Breathing in his scent, my efficiency skyrocketed. By the time I emerged from the sea of problems, the sun was already setting in the west. I felt a pair of scorching eyes on me. Turning my head, I saw Kevin's deep, ink-like eyes fixed intently on me. Their eyes met. That look in your eyes reminds me of that dream again. My heart fluttered, and I quickly averted my gaze. Kevin, it's getting late. I should head home now. He ignored me. He barely spoke to me today, giving me the cold shoulder. I have no idea what I did to upset him. I quickly gathered my things and was about to leave. He hurried out of the room and shut the door. Click. The door was locked from the outside. I panicked. No matter how I twisted or pulled the door, it wouldn't budge. I was Kevin locked in the room. The sky was growing dark, and images of abduction, murder, and dismemberment began flashing through my mind. I shouted outside, "Kevin, open the door." From outside the door came his deep voice. "Apologize to me. I'm sorry. What did you do wrong?" I was stunned, repeatedly trying to recall where I might have offended him, but no matter how hard I thought, I couldn't figure out what mistake I had made. The streetlights outside the window lit up, leaving the room dim. Trembling with fear, I choked out, I don't know what I did wrong." The other end fell silent for a few seconds before the voice softened. You're crying. Why?" At his question, a flood of emotions overwhelmed me, and I burst into loud sobs. The door swung open instantly. "Why are you crying?" I'm sorry. It's my fault." He frantically wiped away my tears. His eyes were filled with heartache. The lights inside and outside the house were Kevin turned on. He said in a placating tone, "I'm sorry. I just wanted to play a joke on you. Not funny at all. Locking someone in a room and not letting them out is not a simple joke by any means." Kevin's behavior today is a classic case of giving someone a slap and then a sweet date. With a cold expression, I packed my things and hurriedly left Kevin's house. An entire summer passed, and even when the heat gave me rashes, I never returned to that park. Nor did I ever go back to Kevin's villa. I spent the whole summer thinking, yet I still couldn't figure out what I had done wrong that day to make him so angry that he locked me up. The first day of school, I walked towards Kevin head-on, remembering our unresolved conflict. I awkwardly lowered my head. After entering the classroom, I tried sharing my summer vacation stories with my best friend Nancy, hoping to hear her thoughts. I never expected that as soon as I mentioned Kevin letting me crash at his place for the AC, Nancy burst out laughing. "Judy, you must have gotten food poisoning from a meal delivery service." "Ha! How else would you be hallucinating like this? With Kevin's keep your distance personality, there's no way he'd invite anyone to his place. I heard he hates human contact, especially with girls." I swallowed the rest of my words. True, Kevin usually acts indifferent to everyone. No one would believe what happened between us this summer. After the class reshuffle in our second year of high school, the new homeroom teacher decided to let us choose desk mates based on our final exam scores. I closed my eyes in despair. With grades as bad as mine and Nancy's, there was no way we could sit together. First place, Kevin. The teacher slowly announced the rankings, signaling him to choose a desk mate. Whispers began among the students below. As expected of Kevin, always first. I wonder who he'll pick. My bet is on Vivian. Top grades and stunning looks. No way. The god definitely picks a guy. What's all the noise? It's not like you get to choose your seatmate. If you have the ability, try scoring first next time. Under the teacher's scolding, the classroom quickly fell silent. Only Kevin's cool voice echoed through the classroom. Number 39. I choose the student with number 39. Who is number 39? We just had our class reassignment and student numbers assigned. So no one even knows their own number yet. Kevin, this is clearly just random selection. That's so typical of him. The teacher picked up the roster, hesitated for a moment, and said, Judy. Number 39 is Judy. Tidy up your things and move forward. After class. Even the air feels liberating. I leaned against the railing, enjoying the breeze with contentment. So, what you said this morning wasn't just delirious ramblings after food poisoning. All of this is real. After class. Nancy looked at me with a shocked expression. I knew Nancy thought Kevin intentionally chose to sit next to me. But after we became desk mates, Kevin still didn't say a word to me. It felt like during the summer vacation. He briefly became friends with me. I shook my head. I was just teasing you this morning. Kevin randomly picked a student number. It's only the first day of school. I don't even know my own number yet. So how could he possibly know I'm number 39? Nancy nodded thoughtfully. His reaction did seem like he just picked a random number. But you're so lucky to be sitting next to the legendary Kevin. He's the crush of so many girls. If I could sit beside him, I'd be thrilled to come to school every day. I rolled my eyes. Want me to pass this luck to you? The class bell interrupted our conversation. This was psychology class. The psychology teacher liked to take it easy. She had us write down our worries and confusions on paper. Then she would anonymously pass the notes to other classmates, who would then write down solutions and words of comfort. Such a laid-back class. I love it so much. I chewed on my pen for a long time before finally writing down a question. What should I do if I don't want to go to school every day? Amid the soothing music, worries drift away. I carefully unfolded the note I had received. I have a crush on someone and have been recording every little detail about her. But lately she's been ignoring me. The bold and attractive handwriting. I recognized its owner at first glance. Who would have thought even a genius like him could be troubled by matters of the heart? The only girl in class who was somewhat close to him was Vivian. Lately, Vivian hasn't been coming to ask the genius questions or chat as often. The mystery is solved. Kevin has a crush on the goddess Vivian. I sincerely wrote down my advice. I can feel your sadness and grievances, and I'm also moved by your sincere and genuine love. However, I suggest you boldly express your feelings, because unrequited love is doomed to fail. I really wanted to write, God of Time, with your looks, you could date anyone you want. Just be brave and confess. But since it's supposed to be anonymous, I held back. After the worry drift came back, I opened my reply. Find a crush at school, like Kevin, and fantasize about him every day. The handwriting was delicate, definitely written by a girl. Me, every morning, I eat rice balls, because my mom sells rice balls. I've helped out at my mom's stall on weekends before. I've Vivian several times. I heard from classmates that her family is quite well off. Her father's a government official, and some classmates even call her Princess. But she really seems to enjoy the rice balls from our stall. She comes to buy every weekend, adding pork tenderloin and then ham sausage. What a gluttonous girl. I originally thought she would look down on me. Unexpectedly. Not only did she not, but she also brought other friends to patronize our family business. Such an approachable princess. No wonder the great Kevin is so fond of her. This time when I handed her the purple rice ball, she smiled with crescent eyes. Thank you, Judy. Your rice balls are really delicious. Who wouldn't love such a sweet and fragrant princess? I happily replied. Thank you for your patronage too. Although it's not yet time to return to school, Vivian invited me to go back together. Mom's business has also been mostly settled, so I happily agreed. After returning to the classroom, we realized we had come too early. Only the two of us had arrived. We both noticed a diary on the ground at the same time. The diary was even left open. It felt like it was constantly saying, "Look at me. Look at me." Vivian and I exchanged glances. She suddenly said, "This looks like Kevin's handwriting. The God of Times. This is definitely worth checking out." I leaned over and watched with Vivian. Today was the physics final exam. Classmate Riceball sat right in front of me. Her neck was so long and pale. I really wanted to grab it and kiss her. Last night I dreamed of her dancing. Classmate Riceball came to ask me for help today. Her hair kept brushing against my arm, making me so itchy I almost lost control. The guy next door keeps coming to see her, and she even smiles at him. I really want to dump his body somewhere and lock her up. I accidentally brought Riceball home with me. I'm going crazy trying to hold back. Watching Riceball licking an ice cream. I wished I could spiritually possess the ice cream. She looks so adorable when she cries. I wish she could cry beneath me every day. Before even finishing 2 pages, Princess Vivian's already fair and delicate face turned so red it seemed about to drip blood. Never expected Kevin to be such a pervert behind that usually cold and abstinent appearance. The diary mentioned that she loves dancing, enjoys eating rice balls, and has an admirer next door. The Riceball classmate's bag belongs to Vivian. Vivian is so pitiful. Oh no. It seems I've become part of their play. Even after I returned to my seat, I was still shaken. Ever since Kevin and I became desk mates, our relationship has significantly improved. Because we inevitably had to talk. He returned to his normal self again, treating everyone and everything with indifference. His heart only held studies and Vivian. Gradually, the events that happened during the summer vacation faded away. It felt like a dream. Judy, your Leonard is here to see you again. During the break, a classmate called me out. Because Leonard and I grew up together. Many people like to tease us about it. In the monotonous life of high school, even the slightest gossip can create huge waves. He casually handed me a cup of milk tea and leaned against the wall. Do you want to team up with me again for the Latin dance at this year's arts festival? The only talent we both share is Latin dance. When we were kids and bored during summer vacation, the town introduced a 9 yuan Latin dance trial class. So our parents sent us there. I took a sip of my bubble tea and nodded, but with Princess Vivian from our class doing a solo ballet performance. We're probably just cannon fodder. Cannon fodder is fine. It's a competition. What matters is participation and the experience. That makes sense. When I returned to my seat, the math test papers had already been handed out. But I was the only one who didn't get one. Class monitor. Why didn't you get one for me? He buried his head in writing, completely ignoring me. I had no choice but to slink off to find the math class representative, and then go to the math teacher to get the test papers. During evening self-study, I drank too much water and kept needing to go to the bathroom. Unfortunately, this week I was seated against the wall, so every time I needed to get in or out, I had to ask Kevin to move aside. He's usually fine, but today he kept a straight face the whole time, as if I owed him $1 million. It wasn't until the evening self-study session ended, when everyone had left. The lights at the back of the classroom were all turned off. He was still in his seat. My tone was humble and ingratiating. Class monitor. School's over. Could you let me pass? I need to go back to the dorm. Yet he continued to pretend not to hear. I sighed and prepared to move the desk behind me to get out. But was Kevin pinned down in one move? His strength was too great. I couldn't budge at all. Our eyes met. He stared at me coldly without saying a word. The space is cramped. The environment dim, with an overwhelming sense of being controlled. It reminds me of that summer night. I got a bit angry. Kevin, what exactly did I do to upset you? Why is he so moody and unpredictable? He hesitated for a moment, then awkwardly said, "Don't go to the arts festival. I'm telling you to go back now." People really do laugh when they're at a loss for words. He was actually worried that the embarrassment from me and Leonard could threaten Princess Vivian's ballet solo. I patted his shoulder and said, "Don't worry. Neither I nor Leonard can compare to even a single toe of Vivian. She's definitely going to win." He frowned. "What does it have to do with Vivian? Weren't you worried that my Latin duet with Leonard would affect her ballet performance?" Kevin's face was half hidden in the shadows, his expression inscrutable. "Whether you affect her or not is none of my damn business. This was the first time I'd heard Kevin swear. I was a bit stunned. Don't you have a crush on Vivian? Hearing this, he questioned me. You even know who I have a crush on. Are you the worm in my stomach? Seeing his aggressive stance, I panicked a little. I saw your secret crush diary. I regretted saying that as soon as the words left my mouth. Who would admit to peeking at someone's diary? Lights out. Any students still here? Hurry up and leave. Take your unfinished homework back to the dorm. Oh no. It's the security guard coming to clear everyone out. Kevin suddenly pulled my arm and dragged me under the desk. The next second, the janitor stuck his head in. Anyone here? Anyone? If not, I'm turning off the lights. As he turned off the lights, the janitor grumbled. So annoying. Someone left last again without turning off the lights. Day after day. Just giving me extra trouble. I'm deducting points for this class. Deducting them all. He was furious. Snap. My world went dark. At this moment, I was practically pressed against Kevin, and with just a slight tilt of my head, I accidentally leaned on his shoulder. The surroundings were quiet, and we could almost hear each other's breathing and heartbeats. As a silent, ambiguous atmosphere spread through the air. His eyes were lowered, with delicate eyelashes covering them, his skin fair and his neck slender. For a moment, I felt as if I were in a dream. No. Why are we hiding? By the time I realized it, Kevin spoke up. Since you've already seen it, I won't pretend anymore. Ha! What are you pretending? Rice ball classmate. The person I have a crush on is you. When I heard the words, rice ball classmate, my mind buzzed, and my thoughts came to a halt at that moment. Taking advantage of my daze, his warm lips pressed directly against mine. A damp, lingering touch. It was my first kiss, and at first it was almost like biting. Only under his guidance did I gradually understand. Like the ebb and flow of the tide, it lapped against the shore's sand in rhythm with our breath, seeping in little by little until completely saturated, the dry grains overflowing with the scent of the sea. My body, from the outside in, is drenched in his scent. Our noses touched, mingling with slightly hurried breaths, lips and tongues clinging and entwining in a sticky tangle. Dizzy from the kiss, I let out an unsteady trying to pull away, but the back of my head was firmly held in place. He pulled me closer by the waist, pressing me against him, and deepened the kiss with a lowered head. The wet kiss in the darkness silently indulged, with every gasp and heartbeat amplified infinitely, gradually eroding reason and dragging one into the abyss of obsession. I don't know how long we kissed before his slender fingers leisurely unbuttoned my school uniform, his burning gaze fixed on my collarbone, the corners of his eyes crimson, his Adam's apple bobbing. Judy, I want to sit with you. My tongue tied in nervousness. Sit. Sit where? My mouth was dry, and my whole body felt hot. Hearing this, he laughed and let go of me. Sit together. I want to sit with you forever. Don't you? Should I want to? Lying in my dormitory bed, I tossed and turned, unable to sleep. My mind was filled with thoughts of that sudden kiss. And the diary. After returning from exercises today, I saw her unbutton 2 buttons to fan herself. From my height, I could just see inside her slightly open collar. It was white. That day, not long after we had just become desk mates, his face was very red, and I thought he had a fever again. He said it was because it was too hot. I even fanned him for a long time. So, the white thing. It was referring to my underwear. I saw in her social media that she went out with other girls from our class. In the photos, she was smiling so brightly, always laughing with that girl. Why doesn't she smile at me like that? We've never gone out together before. That girl, turns out, was referring to Nancy. He really is face-blind and bad with names. Ran into her again. She said, "What a coincidence." Coincidence my ass. I've been staking out this spot every day. This should be the most recent park encounter. I was wondering why I kept running into him. So frustrated. Don't feel like studying anymore. Just want to be with her. I want to be in the bathroom. Smashing rice ball against the mirror. The contents of the diary connect with those fragments of time I never paid attention to. I returned to that dream again. This time, he tore my clothes apart. His warm palms caressed every inch of my skin. This time, we were in the bathroom. He lifted my chin. As domineering as ever. Look in the mirror. Don't get distracted. All I saw were my own crimson lips, and eyes misted with tears. The next day, thinking about what happened last night and those explicit words in the diary, I couldn't even bring myself to look Kevin in the eye. He handed me a rice ball. Bought too many. Here's one for you. It's my family's rice ball. So delicious. Judy. He called me seriously. Is he going to confess and define our relationship now? Morning reading is about to start, and the homeroom teacher is about to come barging in. I was so nervous that I buried my head in my book. I'll call you. MHM. Go ahead. I'm listening. He fell silent for a few seconds, lowered his head, and whispered in my ear. No hugging and cuddling with that guy from the next class. You mean Leonard? His expression turned cold. I don't care what his name is. I patiently explained. We weren't hugging and cuddling. We were doing a proper Latin dance for two. His voice carried sarcasm and dominance. I don't care if it's proper or not. You're just not allowed to go. Now I finally understood the reason behind his repeated anger. I burst out laughing. Oh, so our great Kevin is capable of jealousy too. He had his thoughts exposed and turned his face away. Just go, and you're dead. So domineering. So perverted. I like it. I nodded and placed the half-eaten rice ball on the table, getting ready for morning reading. He casually picked it up and started eating. Class monitor. This is what I left uneaten. He continued eating while reading aloud. I know. I'm still hungry. So let's not waste it. But didn't he buy too much? Not long after, Leonard came to the classroom door again to call me for rehearsal. I happened to tell him about my decision to withdraw from the competition. There was still time for him to find another female partner. What's wrong? Don't we do this together every year? I guiltily averted my gaze. Then maybe we should change the program. Reason. We always dance Latin together, which involves physical contact. Men and women shouldn't be too familiar with each other. You know. Leonard looked toward my seat, his expression suddenly darkening. Do you have someone you like? Caught off guard by his guess, I lowered my head. Yeah. Who? I didn't say anything. A complex emotion flickered briefly in his eyes. Kevin. How do you know? I looked up in surprise. Judy. You and he are from different worlds. He gripped my arms, frowning as he stared directly into my eyes. At that moment, Kevin's voice came from behind me. Judy. Evening self-study is about to start. He stared at him, his dark eyes filled with warning. I quickly broke free from Leonard and hurried back into the classroom. Kevin pulled me over to the trash can. The classroom was noisy with students, and no one paid attention to us in the corner. Sensing the danger, I put on a flattering smile. I'll go back to my seat and do my homework. I was just about to leave. A powerful force pulled me back. My lower back hit the windowsill, and he took the opportunity to press closer. The afterglow of the sunset filtered through the window. Our entwined figures cast shadows on the blue curtains, hearts pounding like drums. Kevin. You. Snap out of it. This is a classroom. Dreams of the night flashed through my mind, and I closed my eyes. A shiver ran down my scalp as he plucked a leaf from my hair. Then he took a few steps back, a hint of amusement in the corners of his eyes. I was just helping you remove a leaf. What were you thinking? Rice ball. Remembering Leonard's words and taking advantage of the noisy classroom, I mustered the courage to ask, Kevin, what exactly is our relationship? He bent down with a serious expression and said, Master and dog. I looked up in shock. He flicked my forehead and curled his lips. Just teasing you. My girlfriend. After getting together. The happiest thing for me was being able to enjoy his air conditioning during summer vacation. Kevin, the only flaw. Those sporadic pimples. Also vanished because we were together. He became perfect. We loved each other freely in places unknown to others. From dawn till sunset. From dusk until the first light of dawn. The air conditioning's chill wrapped around the sweaty summer night. With our bodies. We confirmed. Love is the symbiosis of the insane. The satiation of a lock clicking into place. On the way home, I secretly brought back his diary. I sit at the desk and open it once more. The latest page of the diary reads, "What can I use to keep you? I give you the slender streets, the despairing sunset, the moon in the wilderness. I give you a long, lingering gaze, the sorrow of one who faces the lonely moon. His love for me is a twisted, obsessive madness. But what does it matter?" I unlocked the drawer. Inside were densely packed papers, all covered with Kevin's portraits. Naked, with tails, in chains, bound and whipped, kneeling in tears. Kevin, let us love until our bones creak. The end.